Lori Vallow Daybell talking to her sister on a recorded jail call. Summer Shiflet calling out her sister's behavior after the disappearance of her children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. It's one of 7 key moments from Summer Shiflet's testimony. I'm Angenette Levy, and welcome to Law&Crime Sidebar podcast. Week 3 of the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell is well underway in Idaho, and on Tuesday, a major witness for the prosecution took the stand, Summer Shiflet, the sister of Lori Vallow Daybell, and she provided some damning testimony that came in the form of conversations she had with her sister. Now, just a quick recap of how we got here. Lori Vallow Daybell is on trial in Idaho for the murders of her 7-year-old adopted son, JJ Vallow, and her daughter, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan. Their remains were found on the property of her husband, self-proclaimed Mormon prophet Chad Daybell, in June of 2020. Lori is also accused of conspiring to murder Chad's late wife, Tammy Daybell. Chad will be tried at a later date for the crimes. Now back to the testimony of Summer Shiflet. Lori's sister took the stand and gave incredibly emotional testimony. Summer couldn't hold back tears as she recalled the changes she saw in her sister. Summer testified that she played an active role in both JJ and Tylee's lives. She was their aunt, after all. She said she didn't find out the children were missing until December of 2019. That's a little more than 2 months after they disappeared. Summer was not in contact with Lori and didn't know where she was. Listen to Summer tell the jury what Lori told her when she got in touch with her.
And what did she tell you about JJ and Tylee?
I don't remember the exact wording, but she basically told me that she was aware of where they were and that they were safe.
Ms. Shiflet, fair to say that you trusted what she told you?
Yes.
You believed your sister when she stated to you that JJ and Tylee were safe?
Yes.
Prosecutor Mark Rammel went on to ask Summer about a phone call that she had with her sister in June of 2020 after Tylee and JJ's remains were found on Chad Daybell's property. The jury actually got to hear that recorded conversation.
I'm going to draw your attention to early June of 2020 when JJ and Tylee's bodies were found. You testified that you trusted your sister. After the discovery of JJ and Tylee, did that change?
Yes.
Why?
I felt lied to, and my trust in my sister was broken.
How are you? Not good. How are you? Not good. I don't know what to say. I'm willing to listen if you want to talk to me. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what anything else. I've been isolation for 2 weeks, so I don't know anything else. I don't say anyone. Well, I know that they felt Tylee buried in a pet cemetery and JJ buried on Chad's backyard. And we don't understand how that happened or why. You didn't tell us. We're devastated.
The conversation heats up between the two sisters. Summer begins to scream at Lori for what has happened, and as the call goes on, Lori tries to play the victim and explains the pain that she has gone through. Summer then calls out Lori for posing on the beach for wedding photos when her kids were nowhere to be found.
Lori, if you let that happen to them and didn't tell us and took the be in the ground like a piece of trash, then I don't know you. Because you would have never done anything like that. That's correct. And if you knew and didn't tell us, that's not okay. We lost insinuated? You don't think I did? No, I don't. I think you were dancing on the beach having a great time. Getting married. And you took pictures to prove your kids don't deserve a burial, but you need to get wedding pictures? You don't think that's upsetting? Nobody knows. I'm sorry. And nobody knows except for you and the Lord. Yeah, ask him. I have. And guess what? I don't have one scripture that says it's okay for children to be thrown away like garbage in the ground. And that that's okay. There is nothing in the scriptures that is godly about hurting a child. Nothing. And they deserve a proper burial with family that loves them at the least.
Listening to this conversation is heartbreaking. It's absolutely gut-wrenching. You hear the desperation, the hurt, the anger in Summer's voice. Many people in the courtroom were reportedly crying as the call played. You may have noticed that Lori said, quote, "Nobody knows," after Summer called her out for taking those wedding pictures while her children were in the ground. Was that Lori admitting to killing the kids? That's obviously a question that the jury is going to have to answer. Toward the end of the call, Summer tells Lori that she loves her and that she has been deceived by Chad, and ultimately, she's heartbroken about how Lori treated both JJ and Tylee.
You were dancing on a beach with a smile on your face, taking wedding photos. Trying to go on with life. You don't see happy, trying to find some kind of happiness. You think I wanted to be alone? Do you think that your mother and your sister and your son don't deserve to know that the children are gone? I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want you to be there. I don't want people to misunderstand. If you would tell me the truth, I would stand up for you for the rest of the time. You know that I would. I love you so much. But there is nothing okay about this. Nothing. If you think it's okay, well, you have to say about this. It's okay. This is okay. Nothing about this is okay, Summer. Lori, we've all read the scriptures. I know you've told me about a lot of your spiritual experiences. You know I've tried to support you in all of them. But I am telling you, because I love you with all my heart, please consider that Chad has lied and been deceived, and that you have been deceived, and that this is not what you think it is. There is nothing okay about killing children. Nothing. And even if you didn't kill them, and Chad didn't kill them, and Alex didn't kill them, you threw them away like garbage in the ground. You tried to fall the bird. Think I did that to you? I can't handle that. And threw her in a bag. Stabbed her. You know that's such a great guy. You let them do that. I don't understand. It's so painful. I can't even tell you.
The defense cross-examined Summer Shiflet. Lori's defense attorney, Jim Archibald, starts off by asking Summer about their childhood. He goes on to ask her about Tylee and about how Lori interacted with the kids.
Do you recall when Lori separated from Joe Ryan?
Yes.
And did Lori protect Colby and Tylee from Joe Ryan?
Yes.
All right. And so when you talk on this phone call with your sister Lori, that you would have never done anything to harm your children. Is that the way you felt?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's because of seeing her raise Colby and Tylee and JJ.
Yes.
And were you able to see Tylee and Lori together?
Yes.
And can you describe that?
I think Lori was a loving mother, and Tylee adored her mother. They fought sometimes. Tylee had a little sassy streak in her, but I always felt like Lori was very patient with her.
Were you ever concerned about the safety of Tylee around Lori?
No.
Would you ever imagine your sister wanting to kill her kids?
No.
Would you ever imagine your sister being involved in conspiring to kill her kids?
No.
Jim Archibald is clearly trying to paint a picture of Lori through Summer's testimony that Summer trusted her and believed that she was a good mom and didn't think that she would ever hurt JJ and Tylee. Archibald then questions Summer about Lori telling her in 2018 about her previous lives and the ability to cast out evil spirits.
Did you ever hear your sister talk about multiple lives?
She and Alex had both mentioned that to me, I think, in late 2018.
Okay.
It's the first time.
Was that something new?
Yes.
Was that something that you had been taught as children?
No.
Did you ask Lori where this new belief was coming from?
I don't know if I asked her that directly.
Did she talk about multiple creations?
Yes.
Being reincarnated as different people over the eons of time. Is that what she was telling you?
Not with the word reincarnated, but yes.
Okay. So they weren't using the word reincarnated, but multiple probations, multiple creations.
Correct.
And is that something new that you had heard?
It was new to me.
Had you ever heard Lori talk about being someone in another life prior to late 2018?
No.
At this time in late 2018 or early 2019, did she tell you that she had been someone else in another life?
Prior to 2018?
Prior to 2018.
No.
In late 2018 or 2019, did she tell you that?
Yes.
Did she tell you about her previous lives?
Yes.
Did any of that make sense to you?
Not really.
Did you believe it?
I tried to. I wanted to believe her, but it didn't make sense.
Did she tell you in late 2018, 2019 about zombies?
I don't recall her ever telling me about zombies, that word. I don't remember her ever using that terminology.
Okay. Did she talk to you about her ability to cast out evil spirits?
I believe so.
Did she tell you about light and dark scales?
Yes.
And is that something that you had heard before that time period?
Never.
Did she tell you that she was a goddess?
I don't recall if she used that terminology.
Did she tell you that she was a leader of the 144,000?
No.
Did she tell you that there was a new church called the Church of the Firstborn?
I don't recall her ever telling me that specifically.
Okay. Were you concerned about your sister with her new beliefs?
I don't know that I was concerned about safety of anybody. I just was concerned. I mean, of course I care about my sister, but I didn't really know what to think about it.
Summer obviously wanted to believe her sister, but she was confused, and she never believed that her sister's newfound religious beliefs would lead to the deaths of both JJ and Tylee. Archibald finally asked Summer about their brother, Alex Cox. You'll recall that Alex Cox is the person who shot and killed Lori's fourth husband, Charles Vallow, back in July of 2019. Cox claimed self-defense and wasn't charged with Charles Vallow's death. There's been speculation that Alex Cox was basically Lori's hitman and that he killed both JJ and Tylee. Listen to Summer describe what her brother was like.
How was your relationship with Alex?
I was close with Alex.
Now, can you tell the jury what he was like?
Well, he was my big brother, and sometimes he was hilarious and fun, and sometimes he was kind of crude or obnoxious in a way. But most of the time, we got along really well, and he was at my house most weekends playing games with my kids.
And did he have children of his own?
No.
Did he suffer a brain injury as a teenager?
Yes.
And what was that, from a car accident?
Yes.
And did that brain injury in that car accident, did that affect him?
I believe it did.
Was he different after that car accident than he was before?
He seemed almost stuck in making like teenage decisions. He got in his car accident at 16, and he kind of made decisions like a 16-year-old most of his life.
And so he was, that's what you observed, is that he was stuck as a teenager.
In his decision making, yes.
Okay.
It seems like the defense may be trying to roll Alex Cox under the bus and cast him as the real killer of both JJ and Tylee. You'll recall that Alex Cox, before he died, was really beginning to wonder whether or not Lori and Chad had set him up as some type of fall guy for the things that they had allegedly done. We know that Alex Cox suffered that brain injury and that he was easily manipulated and persuaded to do things by both Lori and Chad. So it's clearly a possibility. We also know that Alex Cox believed in these teachings from Chad Daybell. Listening to Summer Shiflet's testimony, you can really hear the pain in her voice, and you can tell that it was really difficult for her to testify against her sister. But you can tell also that she felt an obligation to do so for JJ and Tylee. Right now, things are not looking good for Lori Vallow Daybell, and we'll continue to follow the case as it moves forward. I'm Angenette Levy, and thanks for joining us for this latest edition of Law and Crime Sidebar podcast. You can download and listen to Sidebar on Apple, Spotify, Google, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And of course, you can always watch it on Law and Crime's YouTube channel. Again, I'm Angenette Levy, and we will see you next time.